Hola, buenos días. Hoy es jueves 13 de junio y vamos a continuar con el capítulo 4 en la página 149. Yesterday we learned how to use the verb ir, which is a very important verb because it's very common, the verb to go, and especially because we use it to form one form of the future tense. Okay. Today we're going to be looking at service to the community, servicios a la comunidad, and some actions. Here, some action verbs. Of course, these are all verbs that are in the infinitive form. So when you say, I support a candidate, or she helps, okay, we have to conjugate them, okay? And a lot of these words you already know. Some of them are cognates, and most of them are regular, except for dar in the yo form, and hacer in the yo form, and of course the verb ir is irregular. All the other ones are regular, okay? And most of them are AR verbs. So you have trabajar en el campamento de niños, to work in a children's camp. Trabajar como consejero, work as a counselor. Trabajar como voluntario o voluntaria en la residencia de ancianos, work as a volunteer in a nursing home. Ancianos is a word for elderly people, just like personas mayores or los mayores. That's another way to refer to elderly people. Ayudar a las personas mayores, to help elderly people. Participar en una campaña política, participate in a political campaign. Apoyar a un candidato, support a candidate. Dar un paseo, go for a walk. Hacer artesanía, to do craft. Organizar, to organize, which is what I need to do. Circular una petición, to distribute. Circular means to circulate, but in this case would be to distribute a petition. And repartir also means to distribute, okay? Repartir comidas, okay? We have here in Abilene, for example, a service called Meals on Wheels, so that would be something that would refer to repartir comidas. Ir de excursión, go on an excursion. Llevar a alguien al médico, take someone to the doctor. Montar una tienda de campaña, to put together or to assemble a tent. And notice that montar is a word that we used in chapter 2, I believe it was, when we talked about ride a bicycle, we used the word montar una bicicleta. So sometimes there are words that can be used in more than one way. Hacer una hoguera, to make a fire. Viajar en canoa, to go canoeing, or to viajar means to travel, but in this case the expression will be to ride in a canoe. Okay, muy bien. So those are some activities that you can do in your community, and there are some other verbs here like deber, ought to or should, and then you have the noun el deber, the obligation or the duty. They are both spelled the same way, but el deber is the noun and deber is the verb, and deber is regular. Ir de camping, to go camping. Notice that we borrowed the word camping from the English language. Trabajar en política, to work in politics. And el voluntariado, volunteerism. Okay, muy bien. So then you're going to do some activities with that to practice with all that vocabulary. And you have a cultural note, la conciencia social, and usually talks about how different things are viewed in Spanish-speaking countries, and compare and contrast with the way that we view those things here in the States. Okay, so you're going to read that, and then we have las expresiones afirmativas y negativas, some words that we use to convey negative or affirmative ideas, okay? And here are the words, expresiones afirmativas: a veces, algo, alguien, algún, alguno, alguna, algunos, algunas, and they all mean some and any, except that algún is used when it is followed by a noun that is masculine and singular, okay? And alguno, alguna, algunos, algunas is used when when the noun does not follow, okay? Except for the feminine, okay? And we're gonna get into that in a minute here. Siempre, always, and then you have either or, which is o, just very simple, or something, and then you have the negative expressions. Jamás, nada, nothing, nadie, no one, ningún, none, and the same case here with algún, we have ningún, and then ninguno, ninguna, ningunos, ningunas, nunca, y neither nor, ni, okay? Muy bien. So the thing here with the expression is that, especially with the negative ones, in English you don't have, well, you can't have double negatives, okay? In Spanish we do. So that is something that you need to keep in mind, because especially with the word nada and nadie, in English you use them in a sentence like she is doing nothing, okay? In Spanish you cannot say that. You have to use a double negative, and the same thing with nadie. They helped nobody, okay? So you do have to have a double negative in Spanish. You cannot use the word nada and nadie without the word no, okay? And I'm going to go to a website here because I don't really like the way that the book explains this with the expresiones negativas. So let's see if maybe this will help a little better. And I really recommend this website. It's called, I don't know if you can see the whole thing, studyspanish.com. And it's got a lot of explanations about grammar, and then you can do a pronunciation guide, and then you can also do maybe a little bit smaller, there we go, pronunciation, and then you have exercises, verb drills, and different things, and it's a really good website. And I like the simple way that they explain the negation here, because they go step by step. You start with affirmative statements. Ella habla inglés, that's affirmative. Él es profesor. And to make a sentence negative, you simply put the word no before the verb, always. Always before the verb, okay? There is no such thing as putting the word no after a verb in Spanish. It's always before. So, ella no habla inglés, él no es profesor, okay? When the answer to a question is negative, 2 negative words are required, okay? 2. ¿Habla usted español? Do you speak Spanish? No, that would be the first no. No, and this one would be the don't, okay? No, no hablo español. No. Gerardo no está en la clase. ¿Siempre estudias? No. Nunca estudio, okay? So here you have the same words that you have in your book. The words, the affirmative and the negative counterparts. Algo and nada. Alguien, nadie. Algún o alguno, alguna, algunos, algunas. And ningún o ninguno, ninguna, ningunos, ningunas. Siempre, nunca. Nunca and jamás. Okay? También, tampoco. O, either or, and ni, neither, no. Okay? So, the negative words can be used alone, preceding the verb. So before the verb, if you use the negative words, one of these negative words, alone, we have to put them before the verb. Okay, nadie habla. Nobody speaks. Okay, before the verb. You cannot say habla nadie. Okay, nadie habla. Él nunca come, before the verb. Alfredo tampoco baila, before the verb. Tampoco baila, okay? All right, so the negative words can also be used with the word no, which is very common, following the verb, not before. Note that unlike English, double negatives are acceptable, okay? So we have no, the no always is going to go before the verb. But if you use the word no, you have to put the negative word after the verb, okay? As opposed to here. Nadie habla. No habla nadie. So we added the word no in front, and so the negative word has to go after. Okay, no habla nadie. Él no come nunca. Here was él nunca come. But if you add the word no in front of come, we have to put the negative word at the end. Okay, él no come nunca. Okay. Alfredo no baila tampoco. Alfredo tampoco baila. Tampoco goes before the verb, but if you add the word no, it's Alfredo no baila tampoco at the end. Okay. Sometimes three negative words occur in the same sentence. No compro nada nunca. Él no compra nada tampoco. So when you add the word no in front of the verb, the negative words have to go at the end, after the verb. Okay. No compra nada tampoco. Okay. Muy bien. And you can even have four negative words in the same sentence. Yo no veo nunca a nadie tampoco. Plus no. Okay. Muy bien. Unlike English, Spanish does not normally mix negative and affirmative words. Okay. Maria doesn't need anything. Not Maria doesn't need nothing. Well, I know people say that, but it's not correct. Okay. So in Spanish, it would be María no necesita nada. Okay. Not María no necesita algo. Okay. When you are talking in the negative sense, you have to use negative, a word that communicates negative. Okay. Okay. Muy bien. Now, algún and ninguno. Alguno. I mean alguno. Oops. Alguno and ninguno. Drop the O before a masculine and singular noun. Okay, so masculine and singular, el libro, right? Before a noun that is masculine and singular, we say, ¿Tienes algún libro? And we use the affirmative because this is an affirmative question. ¿Tienes algún libro? No, no tengo ningún libro. Okay, so before a masculine and singular noun, when the noun is actually there, we have to drop the O in alguno and ninguno. So algún libro, ningún libro. Okay, ninguno o ninguna is generally used in the singular. Okay, ¿Tienes algunas revistas? ¿Tienes algunas revistas? Here is where the noun is actually there, it's present. We're going to say algunas because this is feminine, okay, and plural. And you're going to say, no, I don't have any, okay, no tengo ninguna, ninguna, no tengo ninguna, okay. O tienes algunos libros, this is plural. No tengo ninguno, okay, I don't have any, no tengo ninguno, okay, muy bien. The plural of ninguno or ningunas is used only when the noun that it modifies exists only in plural or is normally used in plural. Okay? For example, vacaciones is always used in the plural. Okay? Ningunas vacaciones a Alaska son completas sin una excursión a Mount McKinley. Okay? So ningunas vacaciones. Okay? No vacation to Alaska is complete without a trip to Mount McKinley. In this example, ningunas is used because vacaciones is normally used in the plural form. We don't say vacación, okay? Vacaciones is always plural. So we use the plural of ninguno, ninguno, and ninguna only when the word is always used in the plural form, okay? Muy bien. So I hope that helps some to explain because I really don't think the book explains it very well. Okay, so you're going to practice and pay attention to how you use these negative and affirmative expressions. Okay, you have several activities in my Spanish lab. Okay, and tomorrow we're going to review a little bit of ser and estar, and we're going to finish the chapter. Okay. Muy bien, so get to work and I'll see you back tomorrow with the end of this chapter, capítulo 4, ¿ok? Hasta luego, hasta mañana.